At 76, she swims a mile daily, lives on a private lake, and earns $20 million per film. But wait, her love life just took a wild turn. This is the untold story of Meryl Streep in 2025, her real daily habits, her secret romance, her Oscar-winning empire, and the unexpected way she built a $100 million fortune without ever chasing fame. Today, we pull back the curtain on Hollywood's most private icon. Let's dive in. Inside Meryl Streep's daily routine. What if the secret to longevity, fulfillment, and global admiration isn't in fame or fortune, but in how you start your day? For Meryl Streep, a woman who's been called the greatest living actress and who's still captivating audiences at 76, her daily routine is a reflection of groundedness, quiet intention, and balance. While many stars chase extremes, Meryl chooses something different. Something simpler, something real. Every morning, when the world is still quiet, Meryl begins her day with a swim. Not just a casual dip, but a full mile whenever possible. That's over 70 laps in a standard pool. I do try to stay healthy. She once shared, "Sometimes I let myself fall apart. But generally, I try to swim a mile every day because I like the feeling and it gets me into my body." It's not about punishing discipline or chasing youth. It's about presence. And presence is something Meryl has mastered both on screen and in life. After swimming, her morning typically unfolds in a rhythm that mirrors her values whole. Organic breakfast options like oats, fruit, or eggs from local markets. Taken without rush, no green juice fads, no supplements sponsored on Instagram, just clean, intentional living, the kind that's earned, not advertised. And here's the part they don't tell you about icons like Streep, despite her enormous wealth and prestige. She does her own ironing. "You can't get spoiled if you do your own ironing," she's famously said. That single quote says more about her daily life than 100 red carpet photos. Her schedule is remarkably ordinary rehearsal readings, creative brainstorming, script study, and remarkably disciplined. Yet, in between it all, she still carves out time for reading novels, knitting, walking outdoors, and planning cozy meals for family. While most celebrities run on chaos and deadlines, Meryl thrives on continuity. But don't mistake her simplicity for passivity. Her days are quietly powerful. In 2025, even as she balances grandmother duties with award-nominated roles, she maintains a routine that many wellness experts would envy. She blends movement, nature, purpose, and presence like a well-conducted orchestra. So, what does a typical afternoon look like? Often, she's in her art studio or hosting family in her Connecticut estate. Or perhaps she's walking through her vast garden, trimming basil while reciting lines from an upcoming role. These aren't dramatic moments, but they're deeply telling. They're the rituals that sustain brilliance across decades. And just when you think you figured out her flow, she adds a twist. A spontaneous drive into town with Martin Short, her new partner, or a quiet trip to see one of her 6 grandchildren in a school play. It's this intentional flexibility that keeps her spirit light, even in a world that demands so much. Here's what's truly inspiring. Her daily routine doesn't just support a legendary career, it supports a legendary soul. She's not trying to look 40. She's living like someone who's earned 76. With grace, with presence, with joy. And that joy becomes contagious the deeper you look into how she lives. Let's now explore the wellness habits that help her glow inside and out. Wellness habits that keep her glowing. What if the most radiant woman on screen doesn't rely on lasers or serums, but on swimming and not touching her face? Sounds too simple. Right, but that's Meryl Streep's secret. She swims a mile almost every day. Not to chase youth, but to feel alive. "It gets me into my body," she says. That one sentence captures her entire wellness mindset connection over control. She practices yoga for flexibility and peace. No influencers, no pressure, just a mat in a quiet room. At 76, still filming and performing, her body moves with grace because she cares for it, not fights it. Food. It's organic, local, homemade, no fads. She cooks with friends, eats with family, and yes, she enjoys pizza. She knows how to enjoy life without overindulging. A friend told people, balance, not restriction. Her skincare one rule, don't touch her face. Dermatologists agree fewer breakouts, less irritation. Simple, brilliant. At home, she breathes in nature. 47 acres of trees, lake, trails. Her estate is a retreat, not a showpiece. It's where she walks, gardens, and listens to silence. Every habit from movement to meals is joy-driven. She's not resisting age. She's embracing it. But there's more. Meryl's emotional well-being is just as intentional. She limits tech use. She journals. She knits to relax. She doesn't scroll TikTok at 2 a.m. Instead, she's reflecting, listening to classical music, or rereading something by Tolstoy. It's these small, unshared rituals that nourish the parts of us modern life often starves. And perhaps that's why she shines, not just on screen, but in interviews, in conversation, even in silence. Her wellness isn't loud, it's real, it's rooted, and it's replicable. But don't take it from me, her grandchildren call her the most fun grandma because she dances in the kitchen and still plays hide and seek. And just as her body glows with energy, her heart glows with love. Let's dive into the relationships that anchor her remarkable lifestyle. Love, family, and grandmother moments. Meryl Streep's love story in 2025 reads like a heartfelt twist in a movie she might star in, unexpected, tender, and quietly inspiring. After 45 years of marriage to sculptor Don Gummer, the couple separated revealed in a 2023 announcement that they'd actually been living apart since 2017. For someone so private, it was a vulnerable moment. But what came next surprised everyone. In 2025, Meryl is dating Martin Short, yes. That Martin Short, her co-star in Only Murders in the Building. And according to close friends and even her children, they're adorable together. Meryl couldn't help but fall for Martin. Shared an insider? He is a gentleman. He keeps her laughing, and she loves being around him. At 76, Meryl is reminding us all it's never too late for joy, for companionship, or for surprise. Their romance blossomed naturally on set and grew off camera. They've been spotted attending Broadway shows, having quiet dinners, and even enjoying Sunday walks in New York's Central Park. It's a new chapter that feels both grounded and delightful. And honestly, it's refreshing to see love evolve with such grace. But for Meryl, family isn't just romance, it's her heartbeat. Her 4 children, Henry, Mamie, Grace, and Louisa remain deeply woven into her life. They've all followed creative paths, from acting to music, and they're often by her side at events, holidays, or low-key weekends at the lake house. 2025 also marks her becoming a grandmother for the 6th time. Grace and her husband, music producer Mark Ronson, welcomed their 2nd child in February. And Meryl, she's over the moon. Family insiders say she lights up the moment she's around her grandkids, often getting down on the floor to play or telling animated stories in full costume. One especially viral moment came when Mamie shared that her son Peter isn't just playing, he becomes a dragon sorceress who controls the universe. You can only imagine the magic when Grandma Meryl joins in. Her parenting style, shaped by years of balancing fame and home life, continues into grandparenting with authenticity. She credits Robert Redford for advice that stuck, "They're not your props," and that ethos has guided her through decades of raising and now spoiling her growing family. At family gatherings, she's not the star. She's just mom. Or grandma. She's the one making spaghetti, wrapping hand-knit scarves as gifts, or sitting on the porch with a cup of tea while her grandkids splash in the lake. But here's the part they don't tell you: her schedule, no matter how packed with Hollywood projects, revolves around birthdays, school events, and Sunday roasts. And perhaps that's the true legacy. Not just Oscars and Emmys, but laughter echoing through hallways and stories passed down through generations. And where do these moments happen? In spaces as breathtaking as the performances she's delivered. Next, let's step into the homes and quiet luxuries that frame Meryl's world. Homes, cars, and quiet luxury living. Imagine waking up on a 47-acre estate beside a private lake, surrounded by art studios, barns, and whispering trees. That's not a film set. It's Meryl Streep's actual home in Connecticut, where she's lived since 1985. Bought for just $1.8 million, the property now symbolizes the perfect blend of privacy, creativity, and timeless elegance. The estate features a former sheep farm, 2 classic barns, and a caretaker's cottage, but the heart of it lies in the art studio once used by Don Gummer. Even post-separation, the space stands as a tribute to decades of creative life shared together. But that's just one chapter. In 2017, she and Gummer purchased a mid-century modern gem in Pasadena for $3.6 million. With floor-to-ceiling windows and Zen garden vibes, it offers panoramic views of the San Gabriel Mountains and a Japanese-style lagoon pool. It's not a mansion, it's a sanctuary. She's also owned a 5-story townhouse in Greenwich Village and a Tribeca penthouse that sold for $15.8 million. Each space tells a story of evolution, taste, and transition. But what unites them all? They're never flashy. They're always intentional. Her transportation choices follow the same principle: refined, responsible, and quietly powerful. Her vehicle collection includes a Toyota Prius for eco-conscious errands, a Mercedes-Benz E-Class for comfort, and a BMW Hydrogen 7 worth over $118,000 for cutting-edge green luxury. Add to that an Audi Q7 for family road trips, a Volvo XC90 for safety, and even a classic Ford Expedition. None of these scream celebrity. They whisper discernment, just like her performances. And while other celebrities flaunt their watches, jets, or yacht parties, Meryl invests in privacy. She hosts intimate dinners, walks barefoot in her garden, reads by the fireplace instead of attending after parties. It's the luxury of choice, of peace, of not needing to be seen. But here's what sets her apart. She doesn't just own beauty, she lives it. She lives the kind of life that many of us dream of, not because it's rich in gold, but because it's rich in meaning. Now that we've walked through her daily rituals, wellness principles, family love, and quiet luxuries, we're ready to understand how this woman grounded, glowing, and gracefully aging became Meryl Streep. And her story, as you'll see next, didn't start with fame, it started with roots. Let's explore where it all began. From New Jersey to Hollywood. Before the world knew her as the queen of the silver screen, Meryl Streep was just Mary Louise from Summit, New Jersey, a young girl with frizzy hair, glasses, and a voice that could melt an audience. Her transformation from suburban cheerleader to the most nominated actor in Oscar history is nothing short of cinematic. But her story didn't start with ambition, it started with curiosity. Born on June 20, 1949, to Mary Wolfe Wilkinson, a commercial artist, and Harry William Streep Jr., a pharmaceutical executive, Meryl grew up in a family that blended logic with creativity. Her upbringing was steeped in culture, but also grounded in values she was taught to listen, to think, and most importantly, to feel. These values would later shape her method acting, where emotion and truth trumped technique. As a child, Meryl didn't dream of movie stardom. In fact, at 12 she took opera lessons, thinking music was her calling. But something didn't feel right. "I was singing something I didn't feel or understand," she later said. That decision to walk away from something she didn't connect with would echo throughout her life and career. In high school, the shift began. Gone was the gawky, unsure girl. In her place emerged a social butterfly, homecoming queen, and competitive swimmer. But underneath it all, the spark of performance still flickered. Her breakout moment came at Bernard's High School, where she delivered a stunning performance in The Family Upstairs. The audience was hooked. So was she. Then came Vassar College, where she majored in drama and costume design. It was here that she found her voice, not just her vocal range, but her emotional depth. Her performance in Miss Julie shook the campus and signaled the arrival of a once-in-a-generation talent. A semester at Dartmouth and then a move to Yale solidified her path. She earned her MFA from Yale School of Drama in 1975, performing in over 40 plays and supporting herself with waitressing and typing jobs. But what happened next will surprise you. After all the accolades at Yale, Meryl didn't run to Hollywood. She went straight to the theater, acting in Shakespeare festivals, off-Broadway productions, and even winning a Tony nomination before she ever touched a film set. That grounding in stage performance gave her a depth that few actors in Hollywood could rival. And just like that, Mary Louise from New Jersey stepped quietly into the world of acting royalty. But the true explosion of her genius was just around the corner. Early passion for acting and stage. Long before she ruled Hollywood, Meryl Streep ruled the stage. Her early performances weren't filmed. They were felt. They were lived. Audiences in small theaters and Shakespeare festivals watched a star form in real time before the cameras ever rolled. After graduating from Yale, she dove headfirst into New York theater. In 1975 alone, she acted in 5 plays at the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center. Her Broadway debut came swiftly in Trelawney of the Wells, followed by standout roles in Henry Fèvre and Measure for Measure. She was a force of nature, quick, intense, and magnetic. Critics took notice. So did Hollywood. Her first screen role came in The Deadliest Season, but it was her brief role in Julia 1977 that began turning heads. Still, it was The Deer Hunter 1978 that launched her into the stratosphere. Her performance earned her an Oscar nomination and revealed a talent that could command both war dramas and romance in a single scene. Then came Kramer vs. Kramer 1979, where she played Joanna Kramer, a woman torn between personal liberation and maternal duty. She won her first Oscar, and audiences began to understand that Meryl wasn't just good, she was transformative. And yet, the theater never left her. Her vocal precision, her control over emotion, her ability to live inside a role for months all came from those early days on stage. They made her fearless. They made her eternal. And just when you thought she couldn't top herself, she did. Again. And again. Her most iconic roles ever. If you were to build a Hall of Fame for acting, Meryl Streep's roles would fill the first floor. From the agony of Sophie's Choice to the wit of The Devil Wears Prada, her characters don't just perform, they live. In Sophie's Choice, 1982, she became a Polish Holocaust survivor torn apart by a choice no one should face. She learned Polish. She nailed the accent. She crushed the world. Critics still rank that performance as one of the greatest in cinematic history. Then came Silkwood, Out of Africa, A Cry in the Dark, each one another masterclass in transformation. She didn't play characters, she became them. In the 2000s, she pivoted again. Adaptation, 2002, The Hours, Angels in America, She moved effortlessly between genre, tone, and emotional depth. And then, Miranda Priestly walked in. The Devil Wears Prada 2006 wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural earthquake. Her portrayal of the icy fashion editor remains one of the most iconic, meme-worthy, and nuanced performances of all time. And let's not forget she negotiated her salary on that film by threatening to walk out. They doubled it. She stayed. Lesson learned. Musicals. She nailed those too. Mamma Mia grossed over $600 million. Into the Woods reminded audiences that even fairy tales need gravitas. And her Julia Child in Julie and Julia Unforgettable. From comedy to drama, from war to wigs, Meryl made every role her own. And in 2025, she's still doing it, Only Murders in the Building, The Devil Wears Prada 2 and whispers of her as Aslan in the next Narnia. She's not slowing down. She's rewriting what's possible. Which leads to a question fans and filmmakers alike are still asking what fuels this machine. The awards that made history. 21 Academy Award nominations. That's not a typo. 21. No other actor in history comes close. She's won 3 times Best Supporting Actress for Kramer vs. Kramer and Best Actress for Sophie's Choice and The Iron Lady. Her Golden Globe record is just as staggering 33 nominations and 8 wins. She's received the Cecil B. DeMille Award, the AFI Life Achievement Award, a Kennedy Center Honor, and even the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But here's the secret: Meryl doesn't chase awards. She chases truth. And that authenticity is what the industry recognizes time and time again. She once said, "Acting is not about being someone different. It's finding the similarity in what is apparently different, then finding myself in there." And that's exactly what makes her so extraordinary. Now in 2025, she's still collecting accolades. Her recent Emmy nominations for Only Murders in the Building prove that time has only sharpened her skills. And The Devil Wears Prada 2. That might just add another golden statue to her collection, but awards are only part of the picture. Let's now explore how all of this translates into an empire. Behind her $100 million fortune, Meryl Streep's net worth in 2025 is estimated at $100 million. And unlike many Hollywood stars, she didn't build it on endorsements, reality shows, or Instagram deals. She built it one role at a time. She commands $20 million per film. But it wasn't always that way. For The Deer Hunter, she made $35,000. For Out of Africa, $3 million. By The Prom in 2020, she was earning 8 figures. From 2019 to 2020 alone, she earned $25 million. And now, with new projects rolling in, her fortune continues to grow. Real estate plays a big role. Her Connecticut estate, bought for $1.8 million, worth exponentially more now. She sold her Tribeca penthouse for $15.8 million, and her Pasadena home reflects eco-luxury at its finest. She also benefits from smart back-end profit deals, meaning she still earns from old hits. Not to mention high-paying TV roles like Big Little Lies, where she earned up to $800,000 per episode. And yet, she gives. Through the Silver Mountain Foundation for the Arts, she's donated millions to women's rights, environmental causes, and education. She once donated her entire $1 million salary from the Iron Lady to the National Women's History Museum. She doesn't just earn powerfully, she spends purposefully. And that's what makes her legacy even richer. With a life this dynamic, from opera lessons to Oscars, from Connecticut walks to Cannes red carpets, Meryl Streep's story isn't just a career. It's a masterclass in excellence, evolution, and endurance. And just when you think she's peaked, she reinvents again. What's next with Streep? Anything is possible. What she's working on in 2025. What does the most awarded actress in history do at 76? Retire to her lake house and knit scarves? Not Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep isn't slowing down. She's stepping into 2025 with one of her most exciting lineups yet. First up is The Devil Wears Prada 2, officially in production as of July. She's back as Miranda Priestley, joined by original cast members Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci, with Kenneth Branagh playing Miranda's husband. The sequel dives into legacy, power, and the chaos of digital age media. Expect couture, conflict, and commanding performances. She also returns in Only Murders in the Building Season 5 as Loretta Durkin, appearing in 2 key episodes. Her screen chemistry with Martin Short continues to charm audiences and real life, too. There's also serious buzz around The Corrections, a long-awaited TV adaptation where she's attached to play a complex, emotionally layered lead. And while it's not confirmed yet, rumors swirl that Streep may voice Aslan in Disney's upcoming Narnia reboot, a powerful, unexpected twist. On the production side, she's developing a limited series on environmental activism, tying into her decades of advocacy. At 76, Meryl's calendar is packed with prestige and passion projects, proving once again she's not just part of Hollywood, she's shaping its future. And here's what most people miss. Streep's greatest success isn't the awards or wealth, it's living a life she truly loves. Want more inside stories from the lives of icons? Subscribe and tell us who we should explore next.